All right, we're going to turn over now to, am I ready? Good to go? I am, thank you. We're now meeting as Committee of the Whole. It's October 13th. I call this meeting to order. Is there any declaration of interest, pecuniary or otherwise? Seeing none, we'll proceed. And I would just say you will declare it if one comes up during the course of the meeting. There's no business arising. And we have no delegations. We're on to item 5, determination of items requiring separate discussion. So taking a peek at the consent agenda, is there anything that needs to be pulled? Then I'm looking for a motion to adopt the consent agenda, moved by Councillor Woodbury, seconded by Councillor Boddy. All those in favor? Is there anyone opposed? That is carried. Thank you. That takes me all the way down now to item number 7. 7A is the Grey Roots operating plan update. I guess that puts Savannah or no. Okay, Jill on deck. I need a mover to put the item on the floor. So moved by Councillor O'Leary and Councillor Bordignon, you had your hand up the last time. Do you want to put your, no? Okay, give me a second by Councillor Robinson. Jill, you have the floor.
Thank you, Warden. Thank you, Warden and Grey County Council. This Grey Roots operating plan update serves as a progress report on actions and priorities outlined in the Grey Roots operating plan that was endorsed by Council in March of 2022. This report provides examples of initiatives and actions taken in the last 6 months as per the plan, along with an overview of the first normal summer season post-pandemic. Grey Roots continues to focus on collaboration, accessibility, sustainability, and evaluation as strategic goals. The following items provide examples of initiatives and actions taken in the last 6 months in support of these goals. So next slide. So the first goal I'd like to just elaborate on is collaboration. We created an art piece in partnership with Niall Johnson, artist from Chippewa, Nawash, unceded First Nation. The 7 art pieces depict Anishinaabe creation stories while pointing towards reconciliation and understanding of the treaty process in Grey County. And the piece is called Soaking Anishinaabe King Presents Our Stories. We've been successful in meeting with the Indigenous Advisory Circle in April and August of this year. The circle is made up of 7 members from the local Anishinaabe community who have an interest and background in education, history, and culture. And they've already provided valuable feedback on a number of projects. The Grey County Community Cultural Initiative Fund was launched in March and supports the partnerships and collaborations that create new opportunities to raise awareness of Grey County's diverse cultural history. We send our congratulations to the organizations and individuals who were selected as recipients for the inaugural funding period of 2022, and we look forward to following these projects as they take shape. Council may also be interested to hear about Black history events and projects that took place over the summer and are underway. Grey Roots and Grey County planning staff have been working together to create a story map that will highlight locations of significance for Grey County's Black history. In future phases, the community will be able to suggest points of significance to add to the map. Grey Roots was honored to host the the Grey County Black Heritage Society's commemorative event in advance of the federal government's formal apology to the Black soldiers of the No. 2 Construction Battalion. And celebrating its 160th year, the Emancipation Festival held its Speaker's Corner and gospel events at Grey Roots this July-August. We were also pleased to hold our first in-person volunteer recognition event this past May and to develop a joint exhibition with the Durham Art Gallery to celebrate Durham's 150th. The next goal is accessibility. In an effort to create greater access to the museum, Grey Roots has offered several pay-by-donation days. These days not only benefit the community, but also give staff the opportunity to observe the difference in revenue and attendance, and early results have been positive. Welcoming Week is a global initiative that encourages individuals and communities to spread the message of inclusion in collaboration with colleagues at the Grey Bruce Local Immigration Partnership and Grey Transit Route. The museum offered a pay by donation day and free bus ride to and from the museum on September 10th. A different kind of accessibility is the work we're doing through the Grey County the Grey County Gallery redesign. So accessibility is one area that will be immediately improved by the new design of the exhibits in the Grey County Gallery. Current standards for accessibility have directly influenced the placement, color, and size of the text and graphics to ensure the information presented meets those standards. The redesign will also increase the number of artifacts accessible to the public from 27 to 101 in just that section alone. And the next goal is sustainability. So with the support of council, registration fees for Kids Camp were raised in 2022. Staff did not receive any feedback on the fee and successfully completed the first camp season in 2 years, welcoming 138, nearly filling all the spots, all 140 spots. So the children were in the museum over the course of 8 weeks this summer. Oops, sorry. In July, Grey Roots was pleased to officially launch Zuz's Place, our beautiful children's gallery sponsored by Fairmont Security Services. The generous $20,000 sponsorship is specifically earmarked for the development and implementation of the children's gallery. And to account for the heightened visitor experience during July and August, while Morriston Heritage Village is open to the public and animated with volunteers and costumed interpreters and summer students, Grey Roots raised the price of the museum admission by $250 across all categories. And our last strategic goal is evaluation. From June to September and ongoing, Grey Roots surveyed visitors in person and online and received 82 responses. Respondents to questions about events wanted to see family and kid targeted events, more interactive and hands-on displays, more Indigenous representation, food-focused events, and music in the village, and more outdoors. There were a wide variety of suggestions for traveling exhibits, but if we break them down into categories, the most requested were science, animals, and local history. In response to questions about Morrison's Heritage Village, we received requests for more opening hours for the buildings with interpreters, a place to buy snacks and water, more interactive or hands-on elements, and a paved path to improve accessibility. And suggestions for more buildings, including a church or a tavern. And there were quite a few expressions of interest about the general store, which was great to see. At the end of the season, we also surveyed our volunteers and revealed that all respondents felt safe coming back to work in a regular operating year, and every respondent intended to come back in 2023, and more than 70% were interested in serving a shift or two in the general store. We also took a look at our performance measures. This summer season is the first for Grey Roots since 2019, considering the absence of international travel and coach tours, ongoing public health concerns, and further indicators such as rising inflation. Staff are content by the return visitation and performance measures. Though we have not returned to pre-pandemic numbers, perhaps the most inspiring is the fact that these numbers represent local tourism, which continues to be encouraged through the Economic Development, Tourism, and Culture Department. I can also report that through an informal survey of colleagues in the museum field, we're feeling a similar trend across all museums. Looking ahead, staff are excited for residents and visitors to explore our new interactive traveling exhibit, Leonardo da Vinci Machines in Motion, and the return of special events, including Morrison by Candlelight, the first in-person archives lecture series since 2019, and the first in-person meeting of the Grey Bruce Dufferin Museum Network. Also, over the past 6 months, staff have successfully acted on each of the goals, bringing the operation plan to life. The important work has emphasized community building, enhancing the visitor experience, and positively impacted Grey Roots now and into the future. And I want to just take a moment to acknowledge the dedication and talent of the Grey Roots staff and the unwavering support of all our volunteers. It takes a village to run the village and the museum. And on behalf of Savannah and I, we wanted to express our thanks for their amazing work. Thank you for your time and consideration of this report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you very much for that report, Jill. And I will just say, if I'm coloring it my way, Black County has an awesome museum. I was listening. Council, are there any questions? Wonderful. You'll stay on deck. We're going to vote. We're going to vote on this, and then we'll be doing the next report as well. So all those in favor? Are there any opposed? Seeing none, that is carried. Thank you very much. And we will deal with the last item of the day, which is the criteria for National Historic Site Designation. That puts you, Jill, on deck as well. I need a mover to put the item on the floor. So moved by Councillor Soever, seconded by Councillor Carlton. Jill?
There we go. Thank you, Warden and Grey County Council. During the April 14th, 2022 council meeting, correspondence was received from the municipality of Grey Highlands regarding an application to the Historic Sites and Monument Board of Canada for Old Durham Road Black Pioneer Cemetery to be declared a National Historic Site. Out of that discussion, council asked that a staff report be brought forward outlining criteria to substantiate an application for National Historic Site designation, and that a list be brought forward with potential sites. As a first step in the progress, staff consulted with the Heritage Designations and Programs Branch of Parks Canada to understand the criteria and process required for designation presented through this report. To paraphrase the criteria and guidelines, which you can see in greater detail in the report, any aspect of Canada's human history may be considered for National Historic Site significance. To be considered for designation, a place, a person, or an event will have had a nationally significant impact on Canadian history or will illustrate a nationally important aspect of Canadian human history. When the proposal relates to a place or an area such as a site in Grey County, there are additional requirements, including the written consent of the property owner and clear boundaries of the area proposed for designation. If a place belongs to a large number of owners or falls under a municipal authority, consent may take the form of a municipal resolution supporting the area to be nominated for national designation. We've provided a list of some of the current sites with federal heritage designations, such as Billy Bishop's boyhood home in Owen Sound, Agnes MacPhail as a National Historic Person commemorated in Grey Highlands, and Nellie McClung in Chatsworth. In terms of potential new designations, in order to create a comprehensive list, community consultation will be required, in addition to consultation with individuals and landowners to determine preliminary interest, especially given most nominations cannot be submitted without prior written consent. Though Grey County and Grey Roots are not precluded from nominating individuals, places, or events, the process is typically initiated at the grassroots level and supported by our roles. Staff will include a research project in the work plan when resources allow to develop a comprehensive list through consultation should council wish to further consider this information. I'm happy to open the floor for questions.
Thank you, Jill. You must be recognizing that we are wanting to, but no, this is important stuff. Councillor Desai.
Thank you very much, Warden Hicks. I would like to point out to the member opposite that Agnes MacPhail is listed as being from Grey Highlands. I'm sure someday the honourable member opposite will be on a similar list for his contributions to the booming metropolis of Drumore. But until then, for the record, Agnes MacPhail is from Grey Highlands. Thank you.
Thank you for making that point. And I did point out she visited Hanover, right? Frequently, yes. Any other questions? Deputy Warden?
On a other note, just regards to our Indigenous community in Grey County and stuff, is there any, have they been reached out to, or is there any particular areas within, you know, what they may have or know of?
Gosh, apologies. They haven't been consulted for the purpose of this report, but I do know there is a National Historic Site designation for Nabibimiquai, or Catherine Sutton, although the location has not been determined yet. I think it's in need of more consultation with community. Yeah, that.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much for this, Jill. I'll call the question. All those in favor of receiving the report? Anyone opposed? That is carried. We're on to item number, we do not need a closed meeting. We have no closed meeting matters. Is there any other business? Councillor Milne.
Cows are in the pasture. Just one point, Mr. Warden, I inadvertently did not declare pecuniary interest in an item for last meeting's committee of the whole. It was item 133-22, item C, regarding a red line revision of a subdivision in Southgate. I have a pecuniary interest with that particular subdivision as the developer is a family member. So I will follow up with the clerk following this meeting.
Thank you very much for raising that. Is there any other business? Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Moved by, oh boy, they're quick. Councillor O'Leary, seconded by Councillor Woodbury. Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't to adjourn? Sorry? Oh, my apologies, my apologies. Okay. Go right ahead, sir.
Yes, like to bring a notice of motion. In May 2021, County Council passed bylaw 5112-21, a bylaw to provide for the cancellation of tax increases for the purposes of relieving financial hardship for low-income seniors and low-income persons with disabilities. Recently, I became aware that many seniors were unaware of this program. The bylaw states that all applications made under this bylaw shall be made to the treasurer of the local municipality in which the eligible property is located in a form as set out by the local treasurer. So on October 3rd, I sent an email to all local treasurers asking them to direct me to the form for their municipality and advise if they had any uptake of this program. Only Southgate, Grey Highlands, and Blue Mountains replied. In 2021, Southgate had 3 applications, totaling $123.31 in tax relief. They hadn't received any applications to date in 2022. Grey Highlands had processed 1 application in 2021, and the Blue Mountains had no applications, but the program was not posted on our website until recently. None of the other municipalities replied, so I did go and check the websites of the other lower tier municipalities and could not find any mention of this program or the requisite forms. It appears the 2-tier system where the county sets tax policy and the lower tier is tasked with implementing it has let our seniors down. So I will be bringing a motion at the next meeting to ask council to direct county staff to advertise and otherwise communicate that this program is available so that low-income seniors and low-income persons with disabilities can become aware of this program, and also that they assist the lower tiers so that that do not have the necessary forms, and maybe the county staff could provide them with the forms so that they can meet their responsibilities under this bylaw. So I'll be bringing that next time.
I don't want to discourage your suggestion for a motion, but could it not be that staff simply take that under advisement and act on it? We do that all the time, do we not?
Well,
Council as a whole directs staff. You know, I think just coming in to tell staff, you know, if everybody did that, everybody'd have their pet project. And so I just believe it's good for them to bring the motion.
Okay, I'll let you work with the clerk on that. Are there any other notices of motion? Seeing none, then I will return to our motion to adjourn. That's moved by Councillor Leary, seconded by Councillor Woodbury, that we adjourn. All those in favor? Is there anyone opposed? That is carried. Thank you very much, folks.